I got your little ass, as they say.
Okay. Well, it's episode 143 of Inane Blather. The show that is often described as, this thing that we do.
It's very cringe when you do that.
From, as described by, LA protester / person getting shot with rubber bullets, Hassan Piker.
It's very cringe when you do that.
But he listens. You know why?
I need to see a dick.
That's why. That's why he listens.
And Need to See a Dick is our
producer
correspondent.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it's our producer correspondent and angel investor in the show. We're going on to
producer.
Bigger and better things with our influx of cash. Venture capitalist Anita Seadick is pumping in $75 million into the show.
Emphasis on pumping. Anita Seadick.
And I think we're gonna take out a bunch of Twitter ads. Because you can do whatever you want with those, is what I've been seeing. But,
You're so selfish and stupid when you do that.
Fine, whatever. Okay, Hassan, sorry. Gosh, whatever.
This is politics.
Hassan Parker. But it's Inane Blather, a show listened to, led by, made up of...
Produced by,
and a... foundational piece of the cult of
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
That's right. So we're both in the natural heat of it. It's my natural
Some birds
heat.
just flew outside my window. It was, my Guatemalan heat.
My Guatemalanness. But
we're right in the thick of it.
yes. Somehow in
I
the
live
heat
in
of
a
summer,
barn.
in the beginning of June. But it was 102 today.
Ew, gross.
And but it's already summer vacation for the kids, so that was cool. She had to swim in the pool. I went in the pool. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Amanda's parents.
Nice.
but lots of pool time set up this summer. It's not warm enough to go in the river. I mean, it's 102 degrees outside, but the river's not warm enough. Unless you really want to shock the system.
That was like a heat advisory for Western Washington over the weekend. It was like in Seattle, it's like in the 80s, pretty fucking hot. This barn that we live in, oh my God, it's so hot upstairs.
Yeah.
Oof, man. God. But part of the heat advisory was also saying it's hot out, but remember, the water is only probably like 40 to 50 degrees.
Yeah.
So you can really, but Umberto did, I was mentioning this before, we were recording, I went to Tacoma, went on a friend's houseboat, and a bunch of them jumped in the water.
Nice.
So, and they were all, it's pretty like brackish is the word that you use for water like that, and the sound.
Oh, yeah.
We're like in a marina kind of thing, but
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
scientists
brackish.
don't either. Yeah. But they
dark.
it was like, it's very, very salty. And just, but they said refreshing. It was like, it's shocking, but not like,
really?
Not like that. And a couple weekends ago, we went,
like
me, Umberto, and Kelsey all jumped in the Skycomish River.
Nice.
And that was pretty fucking cold.
Oh, yeah.
But
any of those glacier-fed rivers, and it's still not halfway through summer. It's so cold.
But that's why, they say, like, I don't really ascribe to, it's like, I'm not necessarily going to jump in. Sometimes I want to walk in and it's enough to cool down,
Sure.
Because it's really fucking cold. But Umberto, Kelsey, and I, we all stood next to each other and like linked arms and we like dunked down all at the same time. And it was, it's not deep enough to really, we just had to get to a spot where it was like, we could all dunk underwater, but in the Skycomish. But as soon as your head goes under, it like like as we're walking out there, especially like Umberto, I mean, you guys have your balls hanging out and it's pretty fucking cold. We were actually all skinny dipping too. And it was like, as soon as it hits you guys, that's on the outside. All of us, it's cold, but it's all tucked in, and like that kind of sensitive stuff.
As a temperature regulation system. That's why.
Yes, and it notices the temperature of the water. But it's like we're cold. We're like, man, our legs, oof, and it hits your tummy and stuff. It's like, but then as soon as we're like 1, 2, 3, and we dunk down. It's like your head getting underwater like resets your body temperature or something. Because then it's like it felt like, okay, wow, I feel way, way better now that I've gone all the way underwater. And I feel like that's what they say, just dive in. I bet there's something about, because your body temperature in your head and like how it's released and all that kind of stuff. Like they're like why you should wear a hat when you're cold and all this kind of stuff. I feel like it probably has something to do with it, or it definitely felt like for all three of us, it was like, I feel so much better now that I got all the way in. Standing there was unbearable. It's like your head, like it's on your belly and you're like, God damn it. I'm all thinking, it's like, okay, think of prehistoric humans. They bathed in this shit. Like really, it was like,
there's people now that water, they don't
not brackish, very clear, very clean, very beautiful, and
not people
very
that
cold.
bathe in the Puget Sound. I don't know about that.
They're called seals.
They're called swamp monsters. But well, there's probably something to just the simple fact that, like, I mean, your legs, your midsection and all that, not only you have like organs and fat deposits everywhere and muscles, the top of your head, it's just skin stretched over scalp
on bone.
So you just have all of these kind of like all that surface area that you don't think about because it's under your hair, but you have all that surface area that's just veins, all over there. So it really, I mean, it can really get cold. That's why you put a hat on when you're cold. But I mean, the opposite way too, man. You dump some cold water on top of your head, it makes a huge difference. You dunk your hat, you're working outside, you dunk your hat in some ice water and you put it on, for sure. But
that's what I feel like I need to be doing here. I got my Mariners hat on as they're faithfully losing 0-4 right now. But been thinking about ways to keep cool in this house, actually. So I was going to warn the listeners, you hear the sounds of the city, such as the flight path or a ambulance or the neighbors or whatever. It's because my window is wide open, because otherwise I would overheat.
And I had my windows
like a dog in a car
closed to make sure that we didn't overheat.
Yes,
because
all the way as closed as they'll go.
Because yesterday the AC was struggling in the afternoon. Man, oh man, and I have it set at like 74. A lot of people are like, ugh, you pump the AC in a little bit. I'm like, that's fine, but it's just like, well, I put it down to 73. I came back later. It's like, it still says 74. I don't think it'll cool down any more than this. But
you can acclimate. Inside. Umberto and I worked from home today, both of us, and we just like sit and sweat all day kind of downstairs, and it's just like, it's like a frog in boiling water or whatever. Exactly. If you start it low.
It's like what they say about, what is it about what you're not supposed to do, like in a hot bath? Something, because you won't realize how hot it is. Gosh, I just read that the other day. What is that? Dang, now I can't.
It's like to keep adding water into it or something like that.
But
something
there's
that everyone does, and it's like, you're gonna die.
There's something people that sometimes that people do, or that you add to it, and then you don't realize how hot it is, and it could like it can almost knock you out because your bathtub is too hot, and then you live by yourself, of course, and you're just trying to relax because work sucks, and then you're passed out in your bathroom and no one checks on you. No, anyway,
and especially if it's in a bathtub, then you drown.
But
like an idiot.
And all they can say when they find your body is,
"You're ugly, you're disgusting, I'm going to kill you."
But you're already dead.
Oh, wait, who is that? Is that that ICE officer?
The ICE agent.
Yeah, he's like the newest ICE agent.
Dr. Philip J. Phil. ICE, immigrations and customs enforcement.
Like, ooh, wow, putting his sunglasses on.
Putting on like just regular glasses. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. God, I hate him so much.
For those of you that don't know, that's true. He went with ICE on this horrible raids in LA. And it seems like I just saw that headline and I sent it to Humby and to Doug. And it was like, it made me laugh out loud to be like, Dr. Phil was with ICE on a raid on a Home Depot? What the fuck kind of writing is this for our timeline? This is so stupid. Why are we calling back this character? Well, what is this moron doing?
I feel like he had already done that, right? Before. He'd been involved in like in ICE raid stuff. And because he talked about it when he was on Joe Rogan, I think. And so now with all this ramping up, he was in there again. What was the one that you sent? What did it say?
Just read the headline straight up. It's
was
so
this
perfect.
was that in the family group chat?
Humby and me.
Oh, no.
It says okay. It says Dr. Phil was embedded with ICE during controversial Los Angeles immigration raids.
Okay, yeah, because that's just 5 hours ago.
Embedded with ICE? I just...
Yeah.
Like he's some undercover guy or whatever.
They're like, hey, is that Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil.
He's like,
shut the hell up, bitch.
you're going to jail with me. So...
Go kill yourself. Go sit in the middle of the road and let a car run over you.
Just like that SUV driven by ICE officers that ran over that person and then just drove away.
The one that was driving backwards?
No.
Like to try to run over?
No.
I don't know. Yeah, if you saw that.
Just hit him driving forwards because the person got in front of it, and so they just kept going. And then they backed up and just continued. It's getting like so bad. And what sucks is like, I mean, of course, it is what it is. It's protests that break down because the police are there and they make sure that everything becomes a gigantic shit show. And then the more it becomes a shit show, then Donald Trump decides to escalate it to ridiculous levels, sends in the National Guard and then the Marines, so it makes it even worse.
Says the
and
governor
worse and worse.
should be arrested.
Yeah, exactly. All while Los Angeles is a sanctuary city and California is a sanctuary state. So, I mean, in the first place, local police shouldn't be cooperating with ICE at all. So, but these dickless, spineless pieces of shit, Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom, don't do anything about it. So that doesn't help. They say, I'm deeply troubled by what Donald Trump's doing. Who gives a fuck what troubles you at this point? This is your job, dude. Like, what? This is your job. You're like, the people that constantly like go on and on about this invasion are invading your state, all right? The federal government is invading your city. And you're doing nothing about it. And they're landing a Black Hawk helicopter in the street. You know? This, I mean, at the very least, don't cooperate with them. Don't have the police cooperating with them and hauling people away, having the LAPD also walking hand in hand, dick and butt, with immigrations and custom enforcement. Like, it's so fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. But anyway, after all this is happening and everything's breaking down, now we get to have the same fucking conversations over and over again, just like it was 5 years ago, like to the date. Almost, about violent protests versus peaceful protests and violent actions and instigators and the role of the police there and whether the police instigate it and whether violence does anything and blah, and Martin Luther King Jr. and people putting fucking words in MLK's mouth and what he would think of this and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I've been seeing that great tweet. Oh, man, I wish I had bookmarked it. Because I can't remember it word for word, but I've been seeing it a lot lately, is that, quote, what you're doing is bad for your movement, says the person who is 100% against everything your movement stands for. Fuck off. Like, yeah, it's why listen to you?
Does it undermine the morality of the position, my actions? It's like, regardless if I get shot and killed by a cop because I'm out there bludgeoning them with whatever, it's like, is it wrong to say that people? I mean, my point still stands. You know, regardless of what I do, it's like I'm on the right side. I heard that Bernie kind of had not a great take on it or whatever. I feel like for the protests and riots and stuff. But what I feel like, if I was someone in power, I would say you guys need to stay safe. Because you know what? Whatever. Property damage, whatever. But you know what they're looking for? One of these ICE agents, one of these cops, a Marine getting hurt, a National Guard guy getting hurt. They are going to come down so fucking hard on this. They're gonna, the federal government, they're just chomping at the bit to take over California, like joking about, it's like, oh, arresting the governor or whatever. If they just understand really what they can do, this federal government, I don't know if the Trump administration really understands. It's like, you could just, if the military listens to you, then you have power. Mm-hmm. They can not listen to you, but if they do, you're in control. Yeah. So they can kind of like, anybody gets hurt during this that's not a protester is like, oh my God. Talk about anybody being pro-Palestine, anyone having a Mexican flag, anyone speaking out against Trump, anyone, ACAB, anything like that. If they pull out this insurrectionist law and stuff, it's like, they're really going to get a taste of the true power of the federal government if they decide to wield it, and if it works. If Marines listen to them, it happens in other countries. People get shot by their military. Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen here. The cops, they're not exactly the military. It's happened in the Civil War, I suppose.
Here, during Vietnam protests.
Sure,
that was my thing. It's like, oh yeah, because the National Guard has such a great track record of dealing with protesters.
National Guard is different than the Marines.
Oh yeah,
the Marines are
that's the federal.
That's what I mean.
Right?
Like, but bringing in some troops and potentially that shit happens. That shit happens all over the world, and it could. That's like, I think it's awesome what they're doing in LA. I think it's amazing. I feel like I can see why Umberto's so proud of the culture that's built there and stuff. They're so ready to be like, fuck the police, or riding around on their bikes looking awesome. The aesthetic of it, the attitude, the vibes, very like
smashing
effortless
the shit
activist
out of those cop cars.
Incredible. It's amazing. And I feel like I don't want to take that from anybody, and that anger is so righteous, obviously, too. But I'm like, I really don't want the Marines to open fire on all of you black and brown people. Yeah. Like, it really is something that is so within the realm of possibility. It's terrifying. And it's like, you can't back down, because that's what fascists do. Like, they're scaring you. They want to scare you. They want to scare you into not saying anything. Because if you keep saying something, they're going to shut you the fuck up. But that doesn't mean you should shut the fuck up. Obviously, I feel like it's just a very scary time. And I'm just thinking about California, all these wildfires. And now they got this going on. And they have Gavin Newsom. Like, Hassan's like, he wants to be president so bad. The way that he talks, it's like, you're so not moved by this. You seem so insincere that it is like, I've been watching people like...
He's not even an interesting robot.
Yeah, people are just like crying about like graduations, parents having to run from their kids' graduation because ICE shows up or whatever. It's disgusting. And you're over here like, whatever he's saying, it's like being so fucking political. It's like, now is not the time. Be like, fuck you, Donald Trump. I'm the governor of this state. Don't you dare. This is my state's rights. You were all here, states' rights for this, states' rights for that. Like, tell him, shut the fuck up. Like, use those words. What does civility have to do? He's like gonna send the military to shoot your citizens. Those are your people, Gav. Step the fuck up.
Yeah.
I feel like strong language needed. Like, he should be flying over Washington, D.C. He should be like, let's have a meeting right now. Like, he need really strong leadership against this.
It's completely bordering constitutional crisis. It's like, it's the U.S. military on domestic soil. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this isn't allowed.
He's talking about arresting a governor for being bad at being a governor. That's not a crime. A lot of leaders are bad leaders, obviously. You're not just going to...
He was impeached twice in his first term.
You're going to arrest a governor and a mayor because you don't like how they're handling their shit? That's not American. That's like really violates... It's like... truly the principle of like states' rights, you know, the importance of this because of the importance of the lack of overreaching power of the executive office. You don't get to do that. You can't just do whatever you want. This is not a company. This is not an authoritarian dictatorship. You know, it has its times when it is or whatever, but we have still some things that hold you back over there. You know, that's why we can still have abortions here in Washington state. The federal government can't say you can't do that, you know? Like, that's why we can have the elections that we hold here. That's why we can have our sanctuary cities or whatever. We can decide how we want to do shit here.
Like, unless they march in with the military and force you to do things their way. It's like, so if they start sending the military into your state, get them out of there. However, whatever political maneuverings you have to do, because it's not like you're going to go out and fight them hand to hand, you have to do something. Like, it's incredible. It's incredible. Like, derogatory. Like, what he's not doing. What they're all not doing.
The LAPD should be making borders and saying, no, Marines, National Guard, you guys are not allowed
it's the opposite.
Within here,
and that's Karen Bass, you know, and it's like,
well, Gavin Newsom has a lot of
sure. I mean, they should be working together to do it. LA is the second. I mean, it's the most populous county in the United States. You know, I mean, it's all hand in hand. But and then on top of that, if you want to be covering your ass. And you're being political, some political robot about it. Now, annoyingly enough, is the time when all these fucking liberals are finally waking up to this. It's like, I forget, I couldn't even like describe it correctly. And I was thinking that maybe I'd be able to talk about it on the show. So all I had written was, well, I'd written a couple of things before that, but the libs that are now so upset about all this police violence. Oh my God, I must breathe deep and just rest. Like, fuck you. I mean, it's whatever. I have to breathe deep because it's like, you're here now. Said that before, where it's like, well, that's the one thing. If Donald Trump wins, suddenly you get all these fucking liberals on your side again, just like in 2020 with George Floyd. Suddenly they're like, Black Lives Matter, ACAB, blah, 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 police reform. You know, this is horrible. But it's like,
oh, this is what people were talking about, except for they don't realize. It's like, no, this is what people were fucking talking about, you fucking idiots.
And it's like, you guys were voted for Joe Biden. Like, you made sure that Joe Biden was the nominee instead of Bernie Sanders. Everyone was like, make sure we don't have any of that defund the police nonsense. That's a no-go. And then this happens. They're like, this is crazy. This is horrible. This can't happen. And it's like, this is what you wanted too. It's not just Trump people. It's what you want. Like, you want these police departments to be funded. You constantly have to backtrack and say, well, no, I mean, of course, I think they should have all their resources because we need to have our communities defended. Shut up. Like, you're just saying that. You're just being you're just being a coward. Like, because you're not, and only because you're making that decision without thinking through what you actually value here. Like, what do you think the police are supposed to do? What do you think their existence is supposed to be? Because this is what they do. This is what their existence is. It's how it's been. That's what it was during Biden's presidency. That's what it was during Obama's presidency. It's what it was in Ferguson. Like, you've been around. And now, oh my gosh, but it's because now I get to say fuck ICE too because Donald Trump's president. Fuck you. But I have to stop and say whatever, makes strange bedfellows. But like, God, it drives me crazy.
You just have to push them. You just kind of have to push them to make real statements. I feel like people maybe see online or whatever, I guess. It's like these people, it's like, I want to be able to hold you to something because, we're not just like a bunch of whiny losers out here. The reason people are activists, like for police reform and all that kind of stuff, is literally exactly what's happening right now. We weren't just wanting what your version of anarchy and like the purge. We're saying that police antagonize protesters, certainly, especially when we're talking about this situation. Cops get somewhere. Like I said, I went to that protest. Humberto and I went, that one in Seattle. The cops are bad vibes. Being around the cops and then seeing like the National Guard or like the military, it's like these motherfuckers, and what, you're going to send in a bunch of Marines? I'm saying this, and I'm saying this loud and proud. Marines are the worst. They are the worst kind of people, the biggest pieces of shit men I have ever met in my life are Marines. They are awful. They're because
they're made into that. Yeah, it's a systemic thing. Like,
and attracted to it because I'm like, these motherfuckers were nasty boys to begin with. I'm saying that in my experience, in the experience of pretty much every woman especially that I've met that has had interactions with Marines is like rapey vibes, abusive vibes, 1000%,
kind of
just like
crazy,
very,
cranked
very,
up with a bunch of guns in the back room kind of thing.
Yeah, very, very big piece of shit vibes. But I do want to say about these Democrats is what's talk about. Yeah, it's like, so what is it that you guys are like about? Where are your values? And sure, strange bedfellows and all this shit, but like Chuck Schumer, how about you don't say that, oh, Elon and I agree on something? Why do you guys like what are your values? Is Elon now a good guy because he's like not with Trump? Or are you just like fucking stupid?
Yeah,
or
just
what?
Watch his approval go up with Democrats over the next 6 months.
That's what.
God.
No, like Chuck, like even saying that, even with the narrative, Chuck Schumer, you should have said, "You get what you get, Elon. That's what you get for backing the wrong horse with hundreds of millions of dollars of your own money. You're an idiot. You're so stupid for doing that, and you deserve every bit of bad things coming your way." Instead, they're like, "Oh, we actually agree. Oh, we actually agree on something."
Yeah, we both.
Who the fuck are you winning
Donald
over? Trump. Yeah, it's like. God, what are you doing? What do you stand for? He's a disgusting billionaire who bought that election for Trump. I don't know if you remember that, Chuck. He's not your friend. He's palling around with people who think you're a fucking pedophile, you idiot.
Yeah.
God, like, just, what is wrong with you guys? That's like the politics, like playing it safe. That's like Democrat politics right here. Is like Gavin Newsom or Newscom, as I just honestly couldn't even believe.
Oh,
like the president called him that.
But news come.
Yeah, that's what news come. That's what I thought it was.
I didn't even think that. News.
That's what I thought. I was like,
You're
what
like,
the
news
fuck?
come.
That's it. Yeah, I was like, all right, he's knocking it up a notch. But him, like with Charlie Kirk and his, I really thought that's what it was.
News come. It's so
Yeah,
shit.
oops.
I don't know how I didn't even see that. Because because I see the scum part, and then I was like, yeah, you scum rat, I think of
that's why
R.M.
you said
Brown.
that. Yeah.
He's a scum. But
News
I
come.
like news come way more.
That's what I thought it was.
He
So.
looks like, because he looks like some sort of, he's so manufactured. He's like some sort of golem of a newscaster made from like the cum.
Made from cum. Yeah. Yeah. He is.
That's what he is.
So
that's what Gavin Newsom is.
Yeah.
And if he thinks
News
differently,
cum.
he can.
Suck me from the back.
And I'll say that.
But that's
I didn't say
very
he was
much,
bad looking. He's just a news cum.
He looks just like Seth Meyers' older brother, and Seth Meyers' older brother always plays him on like Jimmy Kimmel or whatever.
Oh, really?
Like he has like, and he looks
That's funny.
like so much like him. It is funny, but
I believe that. That's funny.
Yeah. Democrats right there. That's like Gavin Newscom with Charlie Kirk. Chuck Schumer talking nice with Elon or whatever. People being like, "Oh, us with the Elon. I guess all that's in the past now, right? Oh, come over to our side."
Yeah.
That's my impression of Chuck Schumer.
It's like, Chuck,
worse.
did you not like see? I mean, it's kind of funny. It gets kind of just blown past. But honestly, Trump's because it happened since our last episode, but before LA, turned from protesting ICE into riots with Black Hawk helicopters landing to refill federal agents and rubber bullets almost killing people, yada yada
Rubber
yada.
bullets shot directly at press, which is very
Oh
cool.
yeah,
Very
and at the
cool.
press, you saw that Australian reporter on TV,
Just like straight
gets
up
shot with a rubber bullet
her,
in the
just
middle of the
turned
street.
and shot.
But before
Close, too,
that,
yeah.
of course, and we all know, anyone who listens to this show, Elon and Trump had their falling out, and they're back and forth.
Best
One of the best days on the internet
ever.
in years. And I don't know if this is true or not, but that little bitch, Elon, I think deleted the tweet.
About pedophile, or in Epstein, yeah, I think so, and the one about Stephen Miller's wife. That he.
What a fucking
Did you see that
loser! No, I didn't see that one.
He said,
and now it's deleted. Well, I'm sure
he
there's
responded.
screenshots, but-
Stephen Miller said something about Elon taking something from the federal government, and he's like, "Yeah, like I took your wife."
What a stupid ass! But
he did.
Probably,
Elon.
Oh
No, Stephen Miller's wife is leaving the Trump
although he might
administration
have.
to work for Elon, and that's where people think that Stephen Miller's the one who punched Elon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because his wife is like, she's leaving politics and whatever to go work with Elon after he left the White House.
And Elon probably immediately said, "Would you like to have one of my children?" Yeah.
I love the idea
I'll give you
of
$1 million
Stephen Miller.
and a retired NYPD horse.
Stephen Miller, I bet, got so fucking red and mad, and he
just,
was
like,
yelling,
glistening with like this sort of
just-
like placenta-y mucus grease, like from the Alien franchise,
goo.
It's some sort of like
And then
H.R.
he-
Geiger type of thing.
Yeah. And then he punched Elon. So that's my favorite
he's
theory.
like,
I think it makes a lot of sense too. Yeah.
But
just like throwing a petulant fit. He deleted that tweet. He deleted the one about DJT.
But
this has been my stance from the very first day. I said Trump did this in California because he wants people to stop talking about the Epstein files. Because he was like, this could be, let's just like blow this over as quickly as possible. So let's just send Marines to California.
A lot of people are saying that. I don't know. I think Trump handled it decently well because we already knew that Trump was in the Epstein files and the very few things that were already public. It's all the same shit. Elon was being a little dickhole. That's what the funny thing was. It was just like him calling him a pedophile was the thing. And it's like, and he was just like, I don't know. He's like, he was really on board. I don't know. Now he just left and he's just whining and stuff. He got Trump derangement syndrome. I was like, damn, dude. But that response from Trump at the very end where he says, big way to save money is we could cancel all these contracts that we have with SpaceX and Elon. And he says, I'm surprised that Joe Biden hadn't already done it. And they don't talk about that part. And it's like, it's just one of those little things that Trump will just throw in there where it's like, well, that's kind of a zinger, honestly. Good point. And they don't talk about it. It's like, yeah, they want to like Elon. Like, they want to like him, even when he's being doing a Nazi salute. Like, they'll be like,
being the most
like,
unlikable
I can't believe
person.
he would do this. It's so bad. He must apologize instead of fuck this guy. Like, we need to nationalize his companies and get him out of the public eye and make sure he never steps foot in America again or something like that. Like, what are we doing here? Like, he shouldn't be part of any of your coalitions whatsoever. It's just because, he's the richest man on earth. So you have to grovel.
Yeah, he bought this election for you. And that's what he said to Trump too. But I think Trump is a little bit afraid of the Epstein files because a lot of stuff he takes it head on and will be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I didn't say that. No, I didn't. And would be very defensive about stuff like that. But he's like,
and that's why he hasn't released them. But that's
up to
their
it's like
administration.
probably it's like, yeah. I mean, there's a lot. It's like those files are never getting released.
Yeah.
But because there's every powerful person on that list. Trump probably. I mean, we all know. Well, but it's amazing how much it seems like it matters to Trump because it's like all those skeletons in your closet. We've already seen some pretty horrible stuff.
We all know you're a piece of shit, dude.
You said you wanted to have sex with your daughter, so
yeah.
I think we're kind of past the point of like whether or not what is he a gross guy or something.
Like you go on the radio and talk about walking in on women in the dressing room. Like that's something that you just go in on.
Pageant,
exactly. Yeah, on teen girls in the dressing room, and that's something that you just talk about in public for fun. I mean,
imagine what you did behind closed doors. I don't want to.
No, I'm
sure
like, and we already
sick, disgusting
know
fucking
some
freak.
of that from E. Jean Carroll and stuff like that. It's like we all know, but
that's what Trump's just really good at, like publicizing himself. He's really good at knowing how to divert and when he can like push back and just lie and just be a bully, or when to like change the conversation or just punch back. He's such a good publicist for himself.
The fact that he is the modern day P.T. Barnum really shows how our country is ruined. That's why human civilization is nearing its end point, is because there's a self-promoter right there. That guy knows what he's doing. It's like, let's just go. Let's end it.
Yeah. I'm a head out. That's that
SpongeBob
meme.
getting up. Yeah. All right, we're done here. Okay, it's like, are we going to Mars with my computers? Elon says, like, no, we're just going. We're just gonna go.
Yeah.
Just shoot us off into space anywhere.
Yeah.
And we'll just roll down the window as soon as we get out there.
I mean, like with a catapult, shoot me into space. Just like, I'm good. I'm ready. This timeline is, I think it's kind of exhausted. The writers are really jumping the shark now, where it's like news come and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. News come. New S come. How the hell are you? Let's see. I'm just reading through. I was trying to find, what really sparked this in my head about just these shocked Pikachu face liberals with the LAPD mistreating protesters when it's like and it's these people that I like recognize as like big like lib accounts, or like, I mean, this person it's a NAFO account, so total like, you know, totally Biden pilled internet brain, just lib type of person, you know, and they're like, and it's this disgusting like helicopter footage, looks like, or drone footage of the LAPD on horseback. Have you seen this?
Trampling that woman?
Trying to trample him. And it's like, and even the horses don't want to trample someone. So they're like trying to go back and forth and trample him. And finally, and the person's getting up, and another officer on foot pulls him back down onto the ground and starts beating on him. And they're still beating on this person. Yeah, and the guy's like, oh, I'm not sure the LAPD knew they were being watched here. Something tells me there's going to be a lot more of this before this is all said and done. Yeah, dude.
No, and they knew they were being watched. Imagine if they fucking weren't.
They don't care. They know they're being... Yeah. There's a helicopter above them right now.
Yeah.
Like,
and imagine when their body camera doesn't work, what they're doing with all of these guys that resisted arrest.
And you know what? This NAFO idiot, a lot of crazy videos coming out of LA. Their concluding thought here, I hope this random vandalism stops and people get organized. People were organized. That's why these things break down, is because people are organized, and that's what scares the police. So they start shooting tear gas into the crowds, and they start dispersing people that are there peacefully. They say, I don't like it. The crowd's too big. Get them out of here. And then it becomes violent because the state uses violence to get the crowd to leave. That's it.
Yeah, it's like,
that's how it is every single time. I've been in arguments with people all day on Twitter, and they're just like, what, you think like the police are just going to randomly shoot tear gas? It's because it's like, yes, everyone's telling you, yes. Were you born yesterday? This is what happens.
What did you learn in 2020? They pushed an old man over and he cracked his fucking skull on the sidewalk. Yeah. He was like a man in his 70s. Yeah. We all saw that.
You think he was burning down a target, as you would think? No.
And again, back to the root cause of all this, it's like, it's because the government is kidnapping people. It's because...
To cause the protest in the first place, yeah.
We have a moral, like, you know, we're at a moral sort of, whatever the word is, crossroads. It's like, we can't get behind this, we can't stand for this, and we won't. And the government, it's like, you can't...
Instead of hearing us out...
You're supposed to be listening to us.
They want to violently
shut us up,
beat down any dissent that you have. Like, oh, and what I was thinking earlier, you were talking about it. See, that's one thing. And you wonder, I mean, it's one thing with this is the whole problem with the federal government being there. Like you're saying, something happens, if they want to and they choose to do it, they can really lay waste to a lot of this, and it can cause even more of a crisis, you know, and you can get to a point where there's no turning back, you know, and then it's like, what? I mean, are you under like is it under military control? Are you going to is California going to become a military state or something? Is this is there no turning back here? But when it's the police, even an organization as large as the LAPD or something like that, when it's the police, organized people, you know, violent or not, but, you know, using whatever self-defense violence is necessary, scares these cops. No matter how, and that's how it's always been. And that's
the little snowflakes.
I mean, it happened in the 1960s. I remember talking to you about this back in 2020, where it's like, gosh, you read about the time when they were occupying campuses across the country, and at one point Like, they couldn't get cops to go actually disperse these crowds. They say, no, I'm afraid I'm going to get killed. Like, even though college kids weren't...
Make America great again!
They weren't killing cops. It just wasn't happening. But they were scared enough because people were organized. They were defending themselves. They had the right ideas. You know, when the Black Panthers were around, I mean, you know, there were actual standoffs here, you know? And that's why, I mean, part of why the police are more and more and more and more militarized, like all of these videos, it's just really crazy to take a step back, really kind of step back and look at all the videos that you'll see over today and yesterday and tomorrow of what's coming out of LA and be like, what the fuck are these? These are police officers? Like, just look at what a police officer looks like in 1985. They look like a fucking mailman, you know, compared to this.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like your friendly neighborhood
like
beat cop.
Yeah.
They have a blue shirt on. They're the boys in blue. There are no boys in blue anymore. They're the boys in black.
In camo.
They're the guys in black ops, you know? They have black outfits with big, like, helmets, all these fucking pockets and weapons and heavy boots. Like, it's just straight up militarized police all over. Yeah, it's so, like, I mean, it's really in your face.
Fascistic? Yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean, just militaristic. It's just authoritarian, you know. I mean, fascistic is like what gets people to like that, I would say. What gets people to think that that's what's necessary.
We got shows called Cops.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got shows. Heard of a little thing called Paw Patrol?
The imagery, if you were to see, like, if it was in a movie with a set exactly like what LA looks like and the cops dressed exactly like how they are, it would be very obvious to anyone with any even modicum of media literacy.
Yeah.
Would be like, those are the fucking bad guys.
Yeah. It's the Empire.
Obviously.
They're the Empire. Yeah. They just killed Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru and burned their house down.
Over with their horses.
Yeah,
you know,
and their cars, and they're shooting people in the head and refusing to get them help. You know,
throwing tear gas into you know, crowds that aren't doing anything.
They shot Hassan Piker with a rubber bullet. I don't like it. But
I know. I was like, what if Hassan got killed in a protest? How horrible would that be?
Man,
he'd be a hero.
Yeah, he'd be a martyr. Let's make sure it happens.
Maybe I should do it. Yeah,
that'll send a message. We're playing 3D chess. We're like once we have him there, we're like, sorry, Hassan, but
this is politics.
Sorry, he's like, Hassan, you can suck me from the back.
My own words. You got me.
Yeah.
You got me.
Damn. Yeah.
The debate broed me literally to death. But yeah, it's like, it is so obvious. I mean, what was it? Just another age old that was coming up today. I can find it because I retweeted it. But, and also, public service announcement. OMG, everyone. That's what I said. Make sure, while all this is going on, if you want to do your part as an American, make sure you do your part and be helpful. Submit your helpful tips to the FBI so that they can get these crazy rioters in jail. They will so appreciate it. I
submitted a tip.
So much. Tips.fbi.gov, okay? So that everyone can know that, yes, I did see Ted Cruz throwing rocks into the windshields of police cars from the overpass. Ted Cruz...
We all knew it was him because not he, you know, Ted Cruz's pronouns are kiss my ass.
We all saw that kiss my ass was on the overpass.
At cops' cars.
But the one that you're just talking about, any sort of media literacy... oh wow, that's That's 5 years ago. Almost exactly 5 years ago, May 29th. Crazy how white people can sit through Star Wars and totally understand the point of the rebellion and why the Empire is bad, but let that shit happen right in front of them, and suddenly they act like violent resistance is a foreign concept. It's like, do people not realize that in Vietnam, the Viet Cong were the good guys? Do they not understand at this point that we were the bad guys? Like, there's way too many people that don't understand that imperial right there. Imperial violence and repression and domination is bad, and that when it's described as anything but, then you recognize those people as being disgusting racists, right? You see someone that's like, actually, it was good for those people. They got civilized. The British civilized the Indians, and stuff. It's like, ugh. It's like, well, have you been arguing the opposite? No, you haven't been. You have been implicitly just accepting that guy's argument. On top of that, a good, what many people say is a good, succinct definition of fascism is what is it? Colonialism turned inward.
Inward. Yeah. Trump supporters think they're the rebellion.
Is
what I just want to get across.
Against the establishment and the deep state.
They really do. And that's what it really came, we've talked about this a lot on the podcast before and in real life and whatever. I'm like, I just don't get, what do people, like, when they read books, like, what are they getting out of this? What are they getting out of this movie? And I really had my answer this year with, like, May the 4th or whatever it was, where it was like, wow, you guys...
Oh, yeah.
You guys think you're the Jedis.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense. That I just knew that you're just really fucking bad at thinking. You're like really not good with critical thinking skills. And I guess the layman's term for that is you're fucking stupid. And you don't understand art. So you're like closer to like maybe even like pre-Neanderthal kind of situation, because they had art too. And it was pretty well understood at the time. But they don't understand. They're like, that was the government was wrong with Vietnam, but we weren't wrong. And it's like, well, but that's America, That's like when people talk about America, that's what they're talking about. They're not talking about you specifically. They're talking
they're not talking about
the
me.
government.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, what was that? Let's see. What was the one? Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's the tweet I was thinking of. It's never been a left or right thing. I suspect the real battle is between the ruling class and the working class. Oh. See? You think that they're onto something. These chuds that are onto something. But that's
never heard of that before.
But that's not rich versus poor, as some would frame it. For instance, I'd put Elon Musk in the working class and our local school board in the ruling class.
Oh my God.
That's a classic. Woo! Because they are the rebellion against the people that make you wear masks and the school board that teaches your kids about trans identities, they're the empire.
It's like, it's not the government making you pay taxes. It is, but it's actually people like Elon Musk not paying their taxes that are making you pay taxes. So if you want to feel oppressed, it's motherfuckers like that that are really doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a little overheated here.
GDP of a small country, and it's like, what do we have? What? Everything's falling apart.
Class.
Yeah, he's working class. Yeah, he's really rich like because he owns a bunch of stuff, and he literally doesn't work a job. He literally doesn't work a job. No one pays him anything. What are you talking about?
You just can't. You just like truly can't. Like people like that.
Can't.
I'm sorry.
Everyone is stupid except me.
Yes. The colloquial term. They're fucking stupid. Maybe it's really that their critical thinking skills, haven't been used a lot. They don't have that kind of tool or whatever. They don't have that. They never really learned how to think. Maybe it's not their fault, whatever. Maybe their brain is small and smooth. That I still think they deserve.
It's not like a walnut. It's like a ping pong ball. It's small and it's
like
smooth.
a kumquat. Yeah.
It's just smoothed down.
It has just enough ridges to keep your heart beating, and that's about all the electrical impulse that's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Your lungs are pumping. Sometimes like, oh shit, I forgot to breathe. Like,
Where am I?
But I'm overheating here.
Yep. Then shout out, I was going to say shout out to the Tone Terrorist himself for getting engaged. Hell yeah, brother. At Left on Red. He's the man. Love. I love him. He's on Twitter.
We love you.
And just because it was in my notes, do companies like Wrigley or like Bubble Yum, do they call themselves gumpanies? We're the number one company in America.
Yeah, do condom companies call themselves companies?
Oh, I thought you were going to say condumpanies. Condumpanies?
That too, yeah.
And they sell exclusively to Gavin Newscom.
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to tie it back to that.
Okay. Well, I love you. Free Palestine.
Right. Yeah. Free Palestine forever, from the river to the sea.
Shout out to everybody.
It's got demonetized.
Yeah. Cool. Fuck you. I support Hamas.
Shout out to Danae. Yeah. I hate America, and I think Elon Musk has a messed up wiener, man. And fuck every American politician.
Yeah.
Except for the couple that I'm thinking
suck
of.
me from the back.
Okay. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.